You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, we're going to be talking about Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee here in this video. Now, Stephen A. has already made comments about Pat McAfee, and he was insinuating, that Pat McAfee has a white privilege. He doesn't need to be as buttoned up as Stephen A. Smith, which seems to be completely ridiculous here, in my opinion. Now, I do believe that Stephen A. Smith's contract is up at the end of this year. He's making, I believe, $13 million. He is no longer the highest paid person at ESPN. I believe that's actually Pat McAfee outside of Aikman or somebody like that. I believe Aikman makes the same amount of money as Pat McAfee, but I believe Pat McAfee is getting like $18 million a year. Now, Stephen A. Smith, I know he wants to be the highest paid person at ESPN. He's probably going to be looking for 20 plus million per year. Will it happen? Maybe it will. I'm not really sure. But let's get into this, guys. There seems to be some bad blood, at least for a little bit, between Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith. Now, Stephen A. Smith does have his own production company, and him and Pat McAfee got into it over the phone, and Pat McAfee ended up cursing out Stephen A. Smith. They had some serious beef here, guys. So we got the story over here on Outkick, and it was actually, I believe, the New York Post that actually ended up breaking this story here. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, live stream. Every single Friday, we're going to be having one tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. We appreciate the support. So here we go. Look at this, guys. Stephen A. Smith, Pat McAfee reportedly got heated with each other in explosive ESPN phone call. Now, I'm curious who actually leaked this to the New York Post. Was it Stephen A.? Was it Pat McAfee? I'm not really sure. But let's read this here. It says, we got more alleged infighting over at the worldwide leader in woke. According to the New York Post, Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee apparently got very heated last month during a phone conversation, with McAfee at one point calling Stephen A. Smith a motherfucker. Now, I find it interesting, man, that this story is coming out, like a week after Stephen A. Said the words he actually said about Pat McAfee, pretty much saying that he had white privilege and Stephen A. needed to be buttoned up because, Stephen A. Always likes to play the race card, okay? Even though he said that Pat McAfee wasn't racist. But it says here, the dispute, according to the Post, arose from creative differences involving a yet-to-be-announced project that Stephen A. Smith is executive producing through his own production company, I'm assuming that's Stephen A. Smith Productions or SAS Productions. I'm not exactly sure how you actually pronounce his production company right there. But anyway, the project will air on ESPN. How McAfee was involved remains unclear, but things apparently got so bad that Smith even banned the ex-NFL punter from appearing on First Take for about 5 minutes. So when they say about 5 minutes, I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure that McAfee's actually been on First Take, but for how long was he actually banned? A show? Something like that? I don't know. This is crazy though. The fellas apparently worked things out, according to the Post, and everything is ham and eggs once again. Quote, the Post reached out. Both sides indicated that their animosity has been resolved, the outlet wrote Thursday. McAfee said he wasn't aware of any ban, and Smith insisted there never was one. But it definitely seems like the fight was real. The argument on the phone was definitely real. But that's all been squashed now. Quote, an ESPN spokesperson declined to comment on the matter. I didn't think that that ESPN would actually end up commenting on this anyway. So them getting into an argument, not really surprising. I mean, does Stephen A actually feel a bit threatened by Pat McAfee? You know, especially because of the financial side of things. I mean, he's not making as much money, but something's telling me that Stephen A is going to get his money. They're going to, ESPN is probably going to take care of him, even though ESPN has its own struggles right now. But man, this is a wild story right here, man. A wild story. I'm wondering what kind of production they're actually creating. I mean, is Pat McAfee even involved in this thing anymore? And this is crazy right here. How did they end up start arguing? That's what I'm curious about. There's not a whole bunch of details on this at all. I mean, this year seems to be, you know, the drama of Pat McAfee, whether it's the Aaron Rodgers stuff or, you know, whether it's other stuff as well. Pat McAfee, when he's in the news, man, is usually for some controversy. I know that McAfee doesn't necessarily want to be a controversial person. Now, Stephen A, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure he loves the attention. He definitely loves the attention. But this show, whatever it is, gonna air on ESPN. I didn't know that Stephen A had his own production company. I'm assuming, you know, that's probably who actually runs his podcast, since his podcast is not associated with ESPN. He's doing his own thing. But there may have been some jealousy, man. I'm wondering, man, if their disagreement led to some arguments over Stephen A. Smith's contract. You know, considering he used to be the highest paid person, but now he's not. I mean, Stephen A. Smith says he's a capitalist. And capitalism, man, gets you paid. He always says, I'm a capitalist. He's made it pretty clear he doesn't like the high taxes in California. That's why he's not a Gavin Newsom fan. I don't know what's caused this beef here. I wish we had the details, but unfortunately, we don't have the details, man. We do not have the details. But man, this is interesting stuff, man. This is some juicy news right here. I'm not one for gossip, but yeah, I definitely had to make a video on this. But apparently, everything is good now. They're saying there was no ban, but there was definitely an argument. Was he actually banned? Maybe in the heat of the moment, Stephen A. Smith did say, hey, you're banned off First Take. Now, does Stephen A. actually have the authority? I don't know, but he started a show. Without him, that show is pretty much going to be dead, even though people are really liking Shannon Sharp apparently on the show. But still, it is really the Stephen A. Smith show. But there you have it, guys. Pat McAfee, Stephen A. Smith had some beef. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.